Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and this is the Nidecker Rift Lace, new for 2024. I got this out on a wide variety of boards and bindings and used these boots a lot at the end of the season. I rode this a couple times with the insole, then threw it out and put in my Sansole custom orthotics. And I also rode this with the Footprint King Foam Orthotic Elite insole. So when it comes to weight, this is 2.2 pounds with the insole in. And if you compare that to, let's say, the Ride Fuse, that's 2 pounds. 2.2 pounds isn't heavy, but it's starting to get on the heavier side. I'd say like 1.8 is really light. That's how most boots are. When it comes to sizing, this fit my size 9 E's, which is a pretty wide width foot, really well. I thought I might have to heat mold this, but after 2-3 days of riding, it just expanded out on the sides and it worked really well. I would say this works from a D on down below. Lengthwise, it fit my true 9 feet. It was exactly the length I wanted. My toes barely touched when I was standing up straight, and then they barely didn't touch on a toe side turn. That's perfect. You also have a heat moldable liner, so if you do need to press this out in places to eliminate hot spots, this will work pretty well. When it comes to adjustability, I love traditional lace. The Ride Fuse trumps it a little bit with this boa right here. It has better rungs that hold closer to the shell and really lock in pretty well, where these rungs kind of stick out a little bit on the sides. I think maybe in production that'll be better. You have great upper and lower adjustability. The one part that was kind of a deal breaker for me is this liner right here. I felt like I had to tighten it as much as I could. I got to the point where I was touching almost like this towards the end of the season. And I have even featured calves, so usually I don't have to really tighten up too tight around here. That was a problem I had with the Rift Boa as well, and therefore the forward flex was too easy at the top and I didn't get that response there, because that's where you get most of the response. So I'd love to see them tweak something here, and with the Rift, maybe improve the way the top of the liner works, as well as just how this laces on the top here, maybe even like a cool strap or something like that. I tried playing around with my strap ends, but it still didn't work. It's always good to have one of these in your pocket, because if the laces break or something, you can just throw this on. When it comes to heel hold, I thought this did a very good job. It gripped really well around my heel. If you're really into heel hold and you like traditional lace, you want something like the Ride Fuse that has boa there, but I think most will be happy with the heel hold. When it comes to flex, yeah, this is a 6 out of 10, and I really feel that. But again, like I talked about in adjustability, you don't really get a real tight wrap up top here. So it feels like a 6 out of 10 everywhere until this top part. Then this feels like maybe a 4. It really opens up and allows an easy forward flex if you like that skate, park oriented, surfy type of feel. In terms of flex retention, this articulating cuff goes all the way to here. It does two things. The boot doesn't bulge out the sides when you forward flex, but it also retains the flex a lot longer because of that articulation point. If they had a more durable spine, this would last a much longer time, but even as it stands, 15 plus days later, the flex didn't change. It's a little bulky, and I did notice some wear here along the sides where it got in with different bindings, and you could see some marks, but overall it has very good longevity. When it comes to shock absorption, there's a little bit of a stiff element right here of stiff rubber, so it blocks the very end of the heel from being super shock absorbent, but the rest of this is, without being too cushy and too soft so you don't get board feel, it's that nice in-betweener, more medium to upper middle shock absorption, which I think is great. When you talk about traction, this is excellent traction. I never had an issue with any board that had a slick top sheet. and I was one footing on it without any kind of traction pad on the top. This just held really well. When it comes to footprint, the Nidecker Rift Lace has a pretty reduced footprint. This is almost there with the Fuse and Burton that have very reduced footprints. So overall, the Nidecker Rift Lace is a really cool addition to their line. I think if they made just a few tweaks to the top of the liner so it had more tightening capabilities and maybe had more support along the top, this probably would have been my boot for all of next season, because I just love the traction, the shock absorption, the longevity of flex, the traditional lacing. I think they're just so close to making an amazing boot for every type of rider. But as it stands right now, this is an amazing boot for park to mountain freestyle riders. So there you have it.